So I'm here at Leading Edge with one of my helicopter pilots, and I will let him explain and tell us who he is.
Chris the Fur Aviles, of course, helicopter pilot here at Leading Edge.
Explain a little bit of yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Give us a little background.
Married, father of cuatro, of four, got a large family, Hispanic Latino family, of course. College degree out of Excelsior College, retired Army after 18 years. I'm currently a Texas Peace Officer and a part-time pilot.
Awesome. So with this, I wanted to first ask, where did you get your inspiration to fly specifically helicopters?
You're going to laugh. This is funny. But in 1984, there was a show called Airwolf. And I'm sure a lot of people of my generation will remember that. And shortly after that, there was a police helicopter that came out called Blue Thunder. When I first saw those shows, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, right? You know, I'm a 70s kid. And when I first saw that, I was like, you know what? I want to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
But what really did it for me was one day we were in high school and this UH-1QV helicopter came in and the National Guard was actually doing that for us. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it in the military. And that's what really gave me the inspiration to be a helicopter pilot.
Awesome. And then you had mentioned that you do have a military background. Flying here at Leading Edge, I know in the military you do fly different helicopters than you do here. What would be the biggest difference that you can see flying this helicopter here and then and then flying in the Army?
All right. Well, first off, in the Army, you do get your ratings as you would as a civilian helicopter pilot, but you do it under a different section of the Federal Aviation Manual because you're under the Department of Defense. But the biggest difference is you kind of fly in the same rules while you're what you would call CONUS, which is Continental U.S. But this little aircraft is a very, very basic helicopter. In the military, you fly a $20 million helicopter because it has all of these different systems that work for it, navigation, augmentation. Of course, on the civilian side, you can fly 2 crew members, but in the military, it's mandatory. Every aircraft that you fly is 2. That's the biggest difference. Here is more single pilot. There's more dual pilot. And here, it's basic, and there you're advanced.
And then when you are flying, just in general, when you flew in the Army and when you're flying here on the daily basis, could you explain kind of the things you have to look out and you have to see for when you are flying in the air?
Okay. Well, in combat, missiles
of
and
course,
guns
yes, of
and
course.
bad guys.
Yes,
definitely.
definitely.
And of course, other guys. But most importantly, when you're flying, whether you're doing it in the military or here in the civilian side, is birds. Other aircraft and birds.
And you yourself have hit a bird yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
I wanted to throw that out there first. He has hit a bird.
Yeah, we've had a bird. But other than that, the birds, the other aircraft. But here on the civilian side, other things like smoke, if there's a fire, antennas. And of course, here you wouldn't really worry about the mountains, but when I was in Afghanistan, yeah, you have to worry about mountains and high altitudes.
And then when flying, how much of an impact does the wind have, do you think, when you're flying?
The wind can be your friend or the wind can be your enemy. If you're in the mountains of Alaska or you're in the mountains of Afghanistan, the winds could be going one way and all of a sudden they'll change on you and you're going to crash. And that's already happened to a couple of the Black Hawk guys that did some rescues up in Alaska. Here is the same concept. If you're heavy and you have zero winds, you have the tendency of probably coming a little bit faster and sinking faster. If you are lighter and the winds are strong, they're going to hold you up. You know, they're going to provide that lift for you. So wind is very important. It's a very important variable in aviation. And in flight school, they teach you whenever you're going to take off and land, it's into the wind.
Awesome. And then this is one of the helicopter pilots here at Leading Edge, Chris Alables. Thank you very much.